So today we're going to be going over how the Coast Guard maintains all the records for all the repairs and the maintenance that they do on their boat. We are hanging out with Bryce over here, and then we've got Ian over here, and they are going to walk us through their process to maintain the records for the maintenance on their boats.
Okay, so because we run two different crews, it's important to keep coherence and everybody on the same page. So one of the ways that we find works best to do that is just a quick pass down between the two crews. All this has is just some basic work list items that needs to happen every day, and then we keep track of our fuel on here, how much fuel we have, diesel, gas, and make sure we don't need to order anything. And then we also keep our asset hours, our engine hours, how many hours the boat was run that duty period. So we have all four of our boats, the asset hours, and then the engine hours for each vessel. That's important so that when time comes, we're running 100 hours, the oncoming crew can then reference up here. We maintain our boats with two different schedules. We have our hourly schedule, which has all of our hourly maintenance on it. So that would be most of our mechanical components, main diesel engines, red gears, jet drives, hydraulic steering systems, stuff like that. It's going to be maintained hourly. And then with our calendar maintenance, we're inspecting things like bilge pumps, electronic components that don't necessarily run all the time every time we move the boat, right? So we're talking about bilge pumps, our fire suppression system is on here, raw water valves, steering linkages, things like that. A lot of inspections, lubricating those joints and stuff like that are going to be located on our calendar maintenance.
So the calendar is almost like the boat maintenance, and the hourly is almost like the engine maintenance.
Yeah, essentially that's what you're going to find mostly on our hourly maintenance.
Okay.
Is that.
That's a good system. I like that.
Mm-hmm. It works well. Not a lot of stuff's getting missed. You know what I mean? It spreads everything out real nice for the guys, keeps everybody on track. Our hourly maintenance, like we just talked about, we got card and shaft maintenance, all of our different shafts, making sure everything's lubed. Jet drive, we got our generator. So each of our, I don't know if you guys talked about it, but each of our main diesel engines runs a generator. So that's a completely separate system as far as the Coast Guard's concerned. So we're maintaining that on a different level. Yeah. So all of this correlates back to our hourly. So the guys come on, they'll jump back over here, look at our hourly maintenance, and for their 2-day or 3-day section, they're going to jump in here, find, okay, we're on 250 hours on this engine. I can look right here. I'm going to need to accomplish all of that. You know what I mean? Let's say if that was 250 hours worth of maintenance or whatever's passed in that last duty period, I now have this much to do. So they can plan accordingly for their scheduling and stuff like that with the patrols and stuff they got to do as well. But this stuff's maintained mostly for coherence by somebody who doesn't work the 2 days on, 2 day off schedule. We call ourselves day workers. We're the soft hands of the business right now. But we've been in their spots so we understand what's going on. But like MK1 will take all of that information when things are completed, and put it all into a package and make sure it's maintained and make sure we didn't miss anything on here, you know what I mean? And then we enter all of that information, the things that we have completed or need to complete, into our program. We call it ALMIS. It's a big overarching system. It covers everything from, all of our maintenance to our boat movement. Every time a boat is moved from the pier, it has to get logged into ALMIS. So we keep an updated asset, like our running sheet within ALMIS. That is the entire Coast Guard. Anybody in the Coast Guard can then look at this. Anybody who's interested, anybody who has hands in how Station Marathon and all the other stations up and down the coast operate, when we operate, things like that. Everybody can see that, and it keeps visibility clear for everybody.
So this is pretty much your paper log. So you got your paper hour log, then you got your maintenance schedule, but then all that gets put into the Almus, which is the digital management of the whole operation.
Yeah, exactly. This keeps it simple for our maintainers. You know what I mean? Like they can look, this is what needs to happen, print out their MPC, get to work, you know. Then they're able to come back, say, hey, I completed this, scratch it off here, and then somebody else will take it from there, make sure it's digitized, and make sure that the rest of the Coast Guard has an idea that, yes, we did that maintenance and we're up to date and stuff like that. We don't get yelled at.
This is CG Limbs. I call it STIP. But he was talking about the MPCs. In here is where you can print out any MPC you want. So everything on there has numbers on the side of it.
Here, you can look right here. If we look at our cardan shaft spline, starboard, lube the cardan shaft spline, starboard. That's going to be conducted by an MK, one of us, a maintenance technician. And right over here, A43003 is the MPC card that he's going to be looking up right now. It's all online. It's A43003.
Yeah, it's a cardan shaft spine. And like in there, open it here.
Open up a PDF document that contains the MPC for that one piece.
Yeah. And these are on our 45s. So this would be like the jet or the engine goes to reduction gear, which then uses the cardan shaft and then go to your impeller. So this would just be to lube the cardan shaft like spline.
And you can see on here where you can break it down. So let's look. So there's our interval, underway hour interval. So that would be 150 hour, every 150 hours, that's due. There's a couple of 250 hour maintenance items, and then 300, 400. And you can just follow that over here to this updates. So every duty period, MK1, myself, or one of the crew will come into this program, update what our most current hours are, or we can do it monthly, you know, if we're printing out ahead of time. And monthly we'll update that hour, and it will give you a until due number. So right now, currently that piece of equipment has 107 hours until it's due. So that becomes important when we're talking about ordering parts and stuff like that are going to be needed.
There you go.
Like that's just to lubricate. We're not going to need a lot of parts, but when we start talking about filter changes, stuff like that, we can start thinking ahead. You know, I only have 40 hours until that's due. We're going to put that on in a week. I need to get ordering parts and stuff like that for that.
So this gets printed out of from Almus?
Yes, yes.
In a sense, yeah.
Okay.
Both of these are generated by Almus. So when we put our hours into Almus, it will create this work list when we update it. So we can print it out, and once again, we have ahead of time, we can look at what's coming up, we can order what's due, stuff like that.
So this is the NPC he was talking about. It's like cardan shaft spline. This is just kind of front cover. But this gives you everything you need to do, the ingredients you need, tools you need, where it is. Like there's kind of like the nipple that you connect your grease gun to, what you need to turn off, what you have on, like the precautionaries, warnings, what danger there could be. This is a simple one, but when it comes to like electronics, kind of like the AC buses and the DC buses, that'll have like a lot more like, okay, cut this, 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 and this, and wear this and this and this to prevent this. And this is Almus.
For the coolers.
Okay.
We're taking the coolers off. That boat can't be run, so we take it down in Almus. Here at the unit, yes, everybody knows that that boat has a large portion of the engine being removed currently. You're not going to be taking that underway. But like we were talking about earlier, Key West or Miami can't see that boat. But so when they're planning operations and stuff, it's very important for them to be able to look into Almus and say, hey, look, that asset is down because of planned maintenance. Or something catastrophic happened, you know what I mean? We can't anticipate them having the ability to put two 45s out at the time. So maybe we need to take one from down south or up north and help facilitate this whole operation.
Right, right. So if there needs to be a rescue mission or something, they know you guys are down to 45.
Yep.
Yeah.
We might not have the capabilities at that time, so they can coordinate. Another very important thing that we can do with Almus, and it helps out a lot with our ability to communicate across, vast range from the west coast to the east coast. These vessels can be transferred from one station to another at any point in time. Somebody up north loses a 45. We don't necessarily have to have two 45s. We could get away with one. We have it just because we're a high tempo unit here, but we got to send that boat up there. Things have happened to these boats, you know what I mean? Like, and a history, this will keep anytime we have some sort of casualty that may occur. The impeller went bad last year. We had a bad bearing in the impeller housing or something like that last year, We know that, but now it is logged in here, and if we had to transfer that asset up north to New York or something like that, and they have some sort of casualty happen that involves the jet drive, they can look back at the history and say, oh, well, 6 months ago, they had a bad bearing in that jet drive. This, get the wheels turning when you're talking about what could have happened, that we didn't anticipate or see happening because that bearing went out, down the line.
Right, or if it goes out again, then now all of a sudden
Yeah, hey,
we got something else to look at. Why is this failing?
Exactly. And we turn over so much here. Like, we're only here. This is a 3-year billet for myself, 4 years for people. That's a high turnover rate for the people that are working on these boats.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps keep some cohesion and stuff like that. And it's a really great tool for, like they said, the history of the history of the boats. So.
Gotcha. And then how far back do these records go? So you pretty much have the, so everything, it doesn't even matter. So your paper kind of like, I know he had a bunch of these papers, but those don't really matter because it's all in Almus.
Yep, exactly. This is just a quick way for our crew, the guys that are out there maintaining the boats, the guys that are out there doing the missions and stuff like that. That's a quick way for them to jot down this information and get on with their day. They can continue on. They get that information down, and then they hand it off to one of us paper pushers these days, and we'll take the time, get into Almus, update all that information.
Awesome. So that is how the Coast Guard maintains all their vessels, to make sure that all the maintenance is done to get as many hours out of the boats as possible.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Bryce, Ian, appreciate it.
Thank you.